Hey guys, welcome to the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour with your hosts, Derek and Jade.
What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour. My name is Derek with DP Films Productions.
My name's Jade with Just As Promised Events. Today we have a very exciting episode for you because it's our first episode.
Yeah, baby, number one.
And what better way to start with podcasts than to talk about how to get started in the wedding industry and the importance of networking.
With that being said, we have some awesome tips and insights from an amazing local wedding vendor here on the Central Coast. So grab a drink, take a seat, and let's get to it. Today, I'm super excited to have today's guest, Tim Lopez with Modern Symphony. Tim, thanks for being a part of our show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. And also, thank you so much for the six-pack Modelos. They're going down nice and smooth.
No problem, man. Cheers. So, for the listeners that don't know, please give us an introduction of, what you're about.
Yeah, well, I'm a DJ business, and I have a couple guys that work for me. They're amazing, and we definitely try to please our brides, definitely doing everything we can.
Awesome. Well, as a wedding planner, I can personally say that I love working with you as a DJ.
Well,
I'm
thank you.
super excited to see that you're on our list and the dance floor is going to be packed all night long.
Yeah.
So, Tim, tell me, when did you know you wanted to become a DJ?
Well, I grew up around a lot of DJs, but these guys were, more of like the club DJs, and that was cool and all. Yeah. But that's not something I wanted to be. I remember being 13 years old and going to a friend's house, and they were spinning vinyl, and I thought it was just like the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. Some of the music they were mixing in together, the transitions, it was really something nice.
Dude, that's super awesome, man. So I was wondering, since this thing's really dedicated to the wedding industry.
Yeah.
How did you get into the wedding industry, and when did you know that you actually wanted to start in that business?
Well, I want to say it all started in 2012. I want to say I decided to start DJing weddings, and I actually put my services on Craigslist. And I know, a Craigslist DJ. I mean, not knocking them, but like
I'm sure we all have.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, we got some somewhere.
But at the time, there were brides looking there, and we got booked. So, it definitely worked out. And then there was a big wedding in Parkfield at the V6 Ranch in 2013, and there was some cool coordinators. Christina Hild, the photographer was Leanna from Looking Glass Photography.
Nice.
And after that wedding, they took me under their wing, and they gave me great advice, and they started referring me, and I started seeing like certain connections starting to take place. And then one day, Leanna, she pulled me aside, and she was like, "Hey Tim, you have to be part of these wedding expos." At the time, Caroline was like putting them together, and she also said I had to be part of these mixers that they have. Mm-hmm. And so I remember in 2014 I signed up for one of these wedding expos, and I was really nervous, but I was ready. And I remember there was a company called Epic Entertainment at the corner of one of these expos. Mm-hmm. This guy had a huge setup, lights everywhere, TVs, photo booths. And I'm like, man, this guy's cool.
Yeah.
So I noticed one guy, he had a suit on and like a little funny hat. And he was giving orders to his workers, and it was Anthony Salas.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Anthony.
Yeah. And so the doors were about to open, and I could see like a line of brides, just ready to come in. And then I could also see Anthony from Epic. He starts walking the aisles. And so I'm like, all right. I thought to myself, I need to introduce myself to him. So he was approaching, and I came out and I said, "Hi, I'm Tim with Laptop Symphony."
Laptop Symphony.
Yeah, that was the old name.
Wow, I did not know that.
And so he looked at my booth, and then he looked at me, and he kept walking.
Whoa.
I was like, what a jerk.
Yeah.
But, I didn't let it get to me. And then a much older man came up to me, and he had a big smile. He was dressed really nice. He introduced himself as Bob Stock.
Oh, now.
Very friendly guy. Also, Javier Montes as well, another great guy that he was there, and he just said, you know what, man, just be yourself. So anyways, 2 months pass, and I get a message from Anthony Solis, and I'm thinking, what does this jerk want?
Yeah.
And he asked how I did at the expo. I told him, yeah, we booked a wedding.
Nice.
He said, well, that's nice. We booked about 8.
Yeah.
So as much as I wanted to tell this guy where to go, I bit my tongue and I asked him, hey, man, let's meet up sometime. Let's chat. And so I showed up to his office, which was like a garage at the time, to his house.
Oh, wow.
And we talked about weddings. We talked about equipment, contracts, prices. And I learned a lot from him. And as I was leaving, though, he was like, hey, man, change your name. I'm like, what? Change your business name. It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man.
Like laptop.
Yeah. So I took his advice, and that's how I came up with Modern Symphony. Like, it just sounded better. So fast forward to that, 2016, I got to meet another jerk. I mean, wedding pro. I meant to say wedding pro, Patrick Ang.
There you go.
And so started collaborating with many vendors. At that time, too, it was easier to network. And a lot of venues were opening up. And it was definitely an exciting time. So, but overall, the wedding industry is pretty close. We all know each other pretty well around here, and the competition between different companies to snag weddings isn't cutthroat like you would think it was.
Mhm.
So
It seems like you're pretty close with a lot of the DJs around here.
yeah, everybody's really friendly, and there's a lot of trash talking,
Yeah.
but it's
But
all
friendly.
Yeah,
All
it's all good fun,
Yeah.
and if you think about it, honestly, we're one big family.
Mhm.
That's awesome to hear, dude. 1 second. I was also curious, when you said that we're all one family, do you really believe, do you like that quote, what they say here about community over competition?
Absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, I really like that about this area, about the community over competition. I really believe that. That's how it feels in the Central Coast.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks for this history into your business and how you got started. That was really cool. So I was also kind of wondering, when you first started DJing, were you also working another 9-to-5 job?
Actually, I was working for FedEx Ground,
Oh, awesome.
and it was cool. I got a good workout, carrying these heavy boxes and running back and forth. But I remember it was during peak season, like that's at the time of Christmas time, where we're so busy. We have so many boxes, and there was one box that fell on on my leg,
Whoa.
and it hurt my leg really bad. And I went to my boss and I was like, hey, dude, this happened, I'm probably going to take a day off, just to shake it off. And he's like, no, you're not.
He's like,
You
"Nope."
better get back to work.
Really?
Jeez.
And I was just like, you know what? This is not for me, At the time I was DJing here and there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a leap. I'm going to jump. And my wife, she supported me. And definitely, yeah, she was, someone very special.
Yeah, dude, that's actually a good transition. I was actually curious, how did you know that when you wanted to go full time in the wedding industry, and did you have any doubts? Were you afraid to move into 9-to-5 from a secure job, having a 9-to-5 and a secure paycheck every 2 weeks, to moving to a gamble?
Yeah, it was definitely, we had some rough nights, or rough weeks, excuse me. And you know, but that leap, you know, is definitely worth it. And yeah, we ended up pulling through.
Yeah.
About how long after you started DJing did you take that leap?
I think it was about like 2 years. Yeah, it was about 2 years when I was just like, man, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Here's your boxes. You deliver them.
Done. Drop the box.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. I like hearing about your story and seeing everything that you went through. So I was curious, so like when you just to backtrack a little bit about the name Modern Symphony. So like, what was the inspiration for that name? Since it seems like Anthony just told you like straight up, you know, change that.
Yeah.
To get more of a brides and the wedding industry vibe.
Yeah.
When did you know, and how did you come up with that name?
Well, it was when we actually sat down and we talked about equipment, and I was like, I got to get this, I got to get that, all newer stuff, all stuff that was like brand new, you know, like stuff that, you know, a lot of people didn't really have around here. So I thought of the word modern. And I always like symphony because, you know, I feel like we have to work together with other vendors, and, you know, the coordinator, the videographer has to plug in for our ceremony and toasts.
Yeah.
You know, the caterer, you know, we have to announce what's going to happen at you know, when's dinner going to be. And so everybody plays, you know, a big role together, and it's like one big symphony to create beautiful,
I love that.
something beautiful.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Dude, that just makes your like name like huge because you're incorporating everything
Right.
into your business name. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's super amazing.
Thanks.
Also, I wanted to ask, you know, in this Central Coast, in our area, we all know you as like the top networking guy, you know, with the style shoots and everything. For people that are afraid to network or talk to vendors, so when you first started out, were you afraid, and how'd you get the courage to come up and talk to Anthony or Patrick Ain to lead your business?
Well, like with Anthony, I had to bite my tongue, you know, and just kind of, hey, you know, like, you're going to like me, whether you like it or not, you're going to like me. And like, you know, just a few years ago, we went to, you know, go see Metallica, you know, we go to concerts here and there, and it's just, he ends up being, you know, really cool. You know, we call it friender.
Yeah.
You know, friend vendor. So yeah. And then with Patrick Ang, you know, we kind of just reached out, you know, through the DM. And like,
I slid into your DM.
Yeah, I slid into Patrick's DM. Like, but no, yeah, he was working with a lot of the coordinators at the time, and I was just like, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, it was pretty much like that.
So if there was like a tip that you could give a newbie, or even people now that are just afraid to just kind of connect with a vendor, what would you give?
Yeah, you just gotta get out there and just introduce yourself. Social media is huge right now, and you know, I always tell vendors, like, hey, just reach out to everybody. You know, like if you're a bartender, reach out to other bartenders in the area. If you're a videographer, reach out to other videographers. You know, and yeah, you know, pretty soon you'll be rubbing elbows with them, and when they're booked, you know, definitely they'll reach out to you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Networking can be a big, you know, source into helping you book other jobs. So, dude, I was also wondering, like, for your inspiration for DJing, dude, like, what inspired you to DJ? What inspired you to become a DJ? Like, I know that you did some clubs and stuff, but what actually made you want to become a DJ?
Definitely, I would say just, you know, entertaining people, you know, and I loved music, you know, as a kid, you know, different varieties of music, you know, from like reggae to house music to hip hop, you know, everything. So, you know, going along with that, you know, I noticed, you know, when I played music at like barbecues or something like that, everybody's like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like, all right, well, cool. And this is like me as a kid, like 8 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah, 8, 9 years old. I'm like playing music for, you know, the old school crowd, you know.
That's Awesome. So you get to do what you love
Yeah.
every weekend, pretty much.
Absolutely.
So what do you love most about being a wedding DJ?
Oh man, where do I start? I think you know, taking care of my bride and groom, knowing what they want to hear and what they don't want to hear.
Yeah,
'Cause,
customizing it to
yeah,
them.
yeah, because sometimes the guests will come up and be like, "Just play it anyways." It's like, no, I'm gonna stick with my bride and groom. It's,
Yeah.
but definitely directing the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
and reading the crowd is a huge thing because, you know, if you just play whatever you want, it's just
Yeah.
no one's gonna dance, no one's gonna have a good time, and people are gonna remember that. Like, oh man, like these people had a horrible DJ. Like we didn't even dance.
Yeah.
And that's I feel like that's an important thing that people, wedding guests, remember.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like the wedding DJ, it's kind of like the voice and sets the whole tone of the wedding. So I feel like you guys are really, really good at that, about reading the crowd, like you said, and kind of controlling that, keeping the vibe up there.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And speaking of keeping the vibe, how did you find your DJ voice? Because you got that little swag voice, and I was curious, like, when did you find that? Like, did you have to look in the mirror, do a couple practice shots, or like how'd that come?
Oh man, when I first started, I hated making announcements. But I remember going to a wedding and the DJ was like, I don't make announcements. It's like,
Whoa.
Oh.
what do you mean you don't make announcements? You got to direct the crowd. You got to let them know what's happening. Yeah, like, nah, I'm just here to play music.
Jeez.
And so it was just like, all right, this is what I got to do to become a good wedding DJ. This is, something that I got to learn. And so, I picked up a few tips from DJ Bob. He's amazing on the mic. He could sing if he wanted to, and people would love it.
I bet.
So yeah, I picked up some tips from him, and we actually had like a little meeting with my guys and him, and he kind of just broke it down. Like, you don't want to say this, you don't want to say that, you want to let people know that you care. And so
Definitely agree. So let's see here. So what about like new and upcoming DJs, like people that are trying to make it into the industry and just kind of like don't know where to start as for DJs? Like what kind of advice do you have for them?
To definitely just show up to the mixers, rub elbows with anybody you can. Sometimes there's limousine drivers and you're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I see what you're saying.
But just get their card, and you never know when the bride's gonna be like, hey, by any chance, do you know any limousine drivers?
Yeah.
Or do you know so and so, or who does this, or a seamstress?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, here's the number. Like, you could definitely like recommend them and help them out. I mean, you don't want to recommend just everybody, but you want to make sure that they're a legit vendor.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's good to refer people out.
Definitely. What goes around comes around.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What goes around comes around. As myself, like being an introvert, it was kind of hard trying to break it into that kind of, the mixers, I would say. It's kind of hard for me to speak up with people. So for maybe like an introvert kind of a person, what kind of advice would you have for them to speak out to people?
Just getting out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting out there, and it could be tough because my wife is the same way, where she's just kind of like, I don't like people. Like,
point blank.
Yeah, I don't like people, but it's just getting out there, and if this is something you really want to do, if this is inside of you, then you're gonna do it. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna meet people, you're gonna network, you're gonna talk to them about how much you want this.
Yeah.
Go to wedding venues and meet the owner, and let them know like, hey, this is who I am, But that's where social media comes in too, because once you start making some noise, people start hearing you.
Yeah,
they
they start to
see
listen.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they see you out there. They see your hustle. They see everything that you want to do.
Dude, I definitely agree about that. Social media can make a big impact on your business, especially now that with like the millennials, the little
Yeah.
baby brides, they book out even through Instagram.
Right.
So I would agree that Instagram is a big role into it.
Yeah.
Do you think Instagram is has more of a source than Facebook?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, millennials, the other day I was at the store and, like, I remember a kid saying, "What's Facebook?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it was just like, all right, well, Facebook is phasing out.
It
So,
is.
Yeah.
Like MySpace.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, not
Obsolete.
MySpace. It was like an old school Facebook.
Yeah, I never had a MySpace.
You never had a MySpace? Oh man, I had it for a little bit. What about you?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Instagram's the new thing. So that's crazy. But I had another question, dude. So like, when it comes to getting ready or like starting out a business, like how did you know that you wanted to start out your business DJ, and when did you know that you needed to hire new employees?
Well, I started getting booked out, and there was sometimes where like I felt like, man, like I wish I could take on more. And so I hired a guy, and he's been DJing for a little bit, and so he turned out to be good. And so another guy came on board, and these guys were close to me.
Yeah.
These are people that I can trust.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
And so, I could trust them that they're going to show up to an event, they're going to do a good job,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to make your name shine.
Yeah, definitely.
So as far as the pre-wedding planning stuff goes, how do you handle like getting all the info that you need for the bride and making sure your DJs have all of that, everything's good to go?
Yeah, we definitely reach out to the bride, letting them know like, hey, what time is this happening, and making sure that we contact the coordinator. And usually around here, the coordinators are amazing.
Mhm.
They're on top of it.
I agree.
They reach out, hey, this is who I am, and be looking out for this. These things are going to change, and it's really amazing to have amazing coordinators around here. I've done weddings without coordinators.
Tough.
Huge difference.
It could be
Super
scary.
tough.
It could be scary.
Super scary.
Yeah, it's
You have to take that role, huh?
yeah,
Pretty much.
we have to direct and letting everybody know what's happening, and it could be tough because if the bride's not happy, like it kind of falls on us.
That's scary. That's scary to think about.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the pre-wedding planning stuff. Your guys are always super responsive and easy to work with and
Yeah.
super smooth.
Yeah, Jade knows firsthand, how it's like when brides like don't really want to plan or something. That's scary.
Right.
Jade,
Yeah.
you handle that. You handle that. But dude, that's super crazy. And I'm happy to hear that, all the love and you have for the wedding industry and how you got into the wedding industry and your story behind it. That's crazy, dude. I didn't know that you were a FedEx guy for a little bit. I'm pretty sure you dropped off some packages at my house.
I threw them.
Oh, you
Yeah.
yeah, you just threw mine. I probably, dang it, Tim. But let's see here. So, guys, we're just going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with a little bit more juicy stuff for Tim. Hey, guys, welcome back. Today, I'm super excited. We actually got Cynthia, Tim's wife, here to talk about a little bit more about, supporting a wedding vendor and, what all that is all about. Jay, take it away.
So Cynthia, we heard Tim's side of the story. We kind of want to hear from you. What made you want to support Tim and let him make the leap?
Well, when he first started talking about it, he was really passionate, and I believed that he could do it, so I just went with it.
Awesome. And to this day, how do you feel about it? Like, do you feel like it was a good decision letting him jump into the wedding industry full time, being a wedding DJ?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's been successful at it and he's happy. So I think it was a good decision.
That's super crazy, and I was also curious, like, were there any ups and downs? Because, like, being in the industry ourselves, we've had those times where it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to keep continuing it because, we weren't sure if we were going to book. And were you ever like that with him? Like, Tim, or like slowly booking, you go back to FedEx. Like, what's happening here?
No, I just kept working at my job and I told him until it'll take off. So just keep going.
Yeah, I'm sure it really helped having that support as you were making that leap, right, Tim?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, yeah, Tim, like, exactly. Like, how was that support for you? Like, how did that make you feel?
It's definitely a warm feeling inside where, your wife she trusts you and she definitely wants you to succeed at something that you love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. Having that support from your wife could just mean the world to you. That's how I feel when Jade supports me on my stupid adventures I have at times. Yeah.
Definitely. So, Cynthia, do you ever get to go with him to his weddings?
I used to go with him for a while, but then I stopped going because I work Monday through Friday, so it got kind of hard.
Yeah. So, like, how was it when you were actually with him though at the wedding industry? Like, when you actually were entered into that world, how did you feel? Did it actually make you feel like you wanted to be in the wedding industry or to leave your 9 to 5 like Tim did, or were you just like, nah, this isn't for me?
I was more like, this isn't for me. I'm used to having a job where I have a manager and I'm told or I know what my duties are every time.
A set schedule.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that works better for me.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Tim? Were you ever like, hey, jump on me be my MC, and I'll just be like DJing?
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be a great roadie and like, come on, let's go, let's do this, and load up all the wires for me. But nah, it didn't work out, man. Like, we found each other we found out this is just not gonna work. Just disagreeing and
Mm-hmm.
and when I needed help, I'd look back and she was texting on the phone. And it's like, dude, come on, you're supposed to be my hype girl.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's understandable. Like you were saying, like some people just don't want to be around a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. And
You
also
got
that was
support from
yeah,
home.
definitely. But I was also curious too, like what you're saying about the husband and wife thing, like the feuds that could happen with working together 24/7. Did you feel like you had that when she was with you all the time at the wedding bookings?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, it was nice to have my wife always around.
Definitely.
But at the same time too, though, like, I just felt like, I don't
Like I said,
I don't want to treat her as a worker.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I
hey,
agree
go
with
get those
that.
thing.
I agree.
Hey, what did I tell you?
Yeah.
No,
No, I agree.
I wouldn't talk to her like that. I'm joking, but it was I didn't want to make her feel like she's working.
Mm-hmm. Especially
me.
when she's working
Exactly.
Monday through Friday.
Exactly. It'd be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's something that I didn't want to do.
Dude, I completely agree. Like, whenever Jade and I work with each other, I'd never want her to feel less than, or like,
Right.
hey, what the heck? You didn't get this light up or whatever. Or
Right.
Or Jade doesn't want to make me feel like, a little aunt when she's like, hey, you didn't set up this table right. But I completely agree. Hey, Cynthia, do you agree too?
Yeah, I think it works better that way.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes I was like, well, wait a minute, I'm not an employee.
Yeah, she always got paid the same.
Yeah, she's like, she got paid with love.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny though, like you talking about you and Jade working together.
Mhm.
I remember a wedding that we did in Cayugas where
Oh, no. Yeah.
where Jade she agreed to take all the lights
Oh,
down,
man.
and then
Yeah.
but
I only agreed because you said.
and
you
so
would help.
anyways, it's like 30 degrees out, and it's this Cayucas tent out there, And, not knocking it or anything, but, we told the bride that we would put the lights back after we took them down before the wedding. So it was tough. We were all out there freezing.
Super freezing.
Pitch black.
Yeah.
Pitch black.
Yeah. Drunk people running around, getting in the way, but we handled it.
Uh-huh.
We worked together, and that's what it's all about, is working together.
Yeah, that was actually all 4 of us. Cynthia, you were there
Cynthia was
too.
there too.
Cynthia was there too.
She was like, I'm not even getting paid for this.
Thank you guys, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's another good note with mentioning to your brides when you are booking of an event, be 100% sure what you want to do before you say it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from that one.
Yeah.
We both
We learned a
agreed
lot from that one.
100% ahead of time, day
Right.
of. We're like, why did we say yes?
Yeah, that was pretty tough. Hey guys, man, I just want to say thank you again for being a part of our show. We had a blast. Tim, Cynthia, you guys are amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate that.
Of course. And guys, thanks to you again for listening. This was episode number 1. I know it was kind of, all over the place, but thank you for bearing with us and sticking around. It's going to be a really long run with more episodes. So please stay tuned for episode number 2. Peace.